The air in the room is thick, heavy. You can feel it pressing in, a physical weight on your chest. There are 4 of us, huddled in the center of the room, surrounded by a fragile circle of salt. The only light comes from 4 flickering candles, casting long, dancing shadows that twist into monstrous shapes on the walls. One of them goes out, then another. A low whisper snakes through the darkness, a sound that isn't human. It's a sound that promises pain. We came here to debunk a myth, to film another episode for our channel proving that ghosts aren't real. But the salt line just broke, and whatever we called, it's inside with us. The game is over, and we lost. For 3 years, the Phantasm Finders, that was us, Liam, Chloe, Maya, and me, Ben, had built a following by chasing ghost stories and walking away with nothing but EVP static and grainy photos of dust orbs. Our brand was skepticism. We figured every haunting had a rational explanation, every floating apparition was a trick of the light, and every demonic possession was a cry for psychological help. Our audience loved watching us march into the most allegedly haunted locations in the country and systematically pick them apart with logic, science, and a healthy dose of sarcasm. But views were plateauing. The comment section was getting restless. "Try a real ritual," they'd say. "Stop playing it safe." So we decided to give them what they wanted. We'd perform one of the most infamous internet rituals, live for our audience, and expose it for what it was. A silly, spooky game born from creepypasta forums. We chose the Midnight Game. Its origins are murky, but claims that it's an ancient pagan ritual are likely just part of the myth, designed to make it sound more terrifying. It's a modern urban legend, really. The rules are specific, almost theatrical, clearly designed to create an atmosphere of fear. You need a candle, paper, something to write with, a pin to draw a drop of your own blood, matches, and salt. You write your full name on the paper, add a drop of blood, and place it in front of a wooden door. Then, you knock 22 times, with the final knock landing exactly at the stroke of midnight. You open the door, blow out your candle, close it, and immediately relight it. By doing this, you've supposedly invited the Midnight Man into your home. The game is simple. Avoid him until 3:33 a.m. If your candle goes out, you have 10 seconds to relight it. If you fail, you must immediately create a circle of salt around yourself. If you fail at both, the Midnight Man will supposedly trap you in a hallucination of your greatest fear. It sounded like the perfect recipe for a psychological horror experience, easily explained away by sensory deprivation and suggestion. We found an isolated, abandoned farmhouse, the perfect stage. We were so confident, so smug. We told our audience we were going to summon the Midnight Man and then ask him for directions to the nearest late-night diner. We had no idea what we were truly inviting into that house. Just before midnight, we set up our cameras, the infrared lenses cutting through the oppressive darkness of the farmhouse. We each wrote our names, pricked our fingers with a sterilized pin, and watched a single drop of blood soak into the cheap notebook paper. The mood was light, full of jokes. Liam was complaining about staining his new jacket. Chloe was mocking the dramatic nature of it all. A drop of blood. Really? So gothic psychologically, we were priming ourselves for fear, engaging in ritualistic behaviors, even ironically, taps into something primal. The darkness, the isolation, the self-inflicted drop of blood. It's a formula that can heighten stress and anxiety, making the brain more susceptible to suggestion. Players of horror video games experience this all the time. Their heart rates spike and every shadow feels like a threat, even when they know the danger isn't real. At 11:59 p.m., we began to knock on the old wooden front door. 21 knocks, and then we paused, watching the seconds tick by on my phone. At precisely 12 o'clock a.m., my knuckle rapped against the wood for the 22nd time. The sound echoed in the dead silence. As instructed, I opened the door into the pitch-black night, blew out my candle, and quickly shut the door again, plunging us into total darkness for a moment before my lighter sparked and the wick caught flame. Okay, so while mainstream science absolutely does not recognize ghosts, some fascinating research on the edges of human consciousness is making us question our neat and tidy definitions of life and death. The idea that consciousness isn't just an on-off switch is gaining ground, and it points to a much stranger reality. The AWARE studies, which stands for Awareness During Resuscitation, were led by Dr. Sam Parnia and looked at thousands of cardiac arrest cases. While most patients remembered nothing, a small number, about 2%, reported having full explicit memories of seeing and hearing real events while they were being resuscitated. This suggests consciousness might not just switch off like a light bulb. Instead, think of it like the embers of a fire that continue to glow and pulse with heat long after the main flames have been extinguished. It might slowly fade in a complex, unpredictable way. This leads to even more startling research. Studies led by scientists like Dr. Jimo Borjigan have found surprising surges of brain activity after a person is clinically dead. In a 2023 study, her team observed that 2 of 4 comatose patients who were taken off life support showed a big spike in gamma wave activity after their hearts stopped. Gamma waves are the fastest brain waves and are linked to high-level functions like consciousness. This is like a candle flame suddenly flaring up to its brightest point, just for a moment, right before it's snuffed out for good. This burst of activity was found in a brain region sometimes called the hot zone for consciousness. Let's be crystal clear, this is not evidence of a soul, but it does show that the brain can do paradoxical things, generating signs of heightened consciousness right on the brink of death. And then, if you really want to push the boundaries, you get into the ORC-OR theory, proposed by physicist Sir Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Dr. Stuart Hameroff. Think of your brain as a biological computer, and your consciousness as the unique software running on it. This theory speculates that when the computer, the brain, shuts down at death, the software, that quantum information of your consciousness isn't deleted. Instead, it's as if an emergency backup system kicks in, uploading that data to the cloud of the universe itself. This theory is highly controversial, but what all this research hints at is that the line between life and death is far blurrier than we ever thought. It opens a speculative door. If consciousness can flicker and surge in these gray areas, could a sudden end get it stuck in a state of confusion? So, what if we entertain this idea for a moment? If some spirits are lost and confused, it completely changes how we think about ghosts. The things that go bump in the night suddenly become less of something to fear and more of something to pity. This idea echoes in many cultures. In Japan, the lingering spirits from the tsunami aren't seen as evil, but as lost souls, or yurei, who can't find closure because of their sudden deaths. Many Native American and other indigenous traditions also have beliefs about spirits that stay earthbound because of trauma, and they have rituals to help those spirits move on. This reframes our entire relationship with the unknown. A flickering light might not be a warning, but a lost soul trying to hit a light switch. A faint whisper might not be a threat, but someone trying to talk to a person who can no longer hear them. That cold spot in the room could just be the signature of someone who doesn't understand why they can't feel warmth anymore. This shifts the whole story from horror to empathy. It suggests the real tragedy of a haunting isn't the fear it creates in us, but the profound loneliness and confusion of the spirit itself. It implies we have a kind of duty of compassion to help the lost find their way, instead of just being afraid of them. When you look at it like that, the goal of a paranormal investigation isn't just to prove that ghosts exist, but maybe just maybe, to bring a little peace to a consciousness trapped in its own past. So, do ghosts know they're dead? After digging through personal stories, paranormal theories, and the very edges of science, the truth is, it's still a profound mystery. We have tales of confused spirits from ancient Rome to modern Japan. We have paranormal frameworks that try to sort mindless echoes from intelligent but disoriented entities. And we have science that, while not proving ghosts exist, is showing us that the moment of death is way more complex than we ever knew. There's no single answer. Maybe some spirits are perfectly aware. Maybe others are just energy replaying a moment in time. But maybe, just maybe, some are truly lost, wandering the borderlands between worlds, looking for answers they may never find. So the next time you hear an unexplained noise in the quiet of your home, or feel a sudden chill you can't explain, perhaps it's not something to be afraid of. Maybe it's just a lost traveler, tapping you on the shoulder, hoping you can give them directions home. What do you think? Do you believe a spirit can be unaware that it has died? Have you ever had an experience you just couldn't explain? Share your stories and theories in the comments below. We read every single one. And if you want to keep exploring the boundaries of our world, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell.